gadgets can save you time and money. And in this series, we want to show you how you can transform your home and work life by getting gadget savvy.
The UK is one of Europe's biggest markets for electric vehicles, behind Norway and Germany. There are nearly 200,000 full EVs on British roads today.
So buckle up, this is FutureEV.
Hi, I'm Waseem Mirza. Welcome to the very first FutureTech from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Even though the show has been open in Las Vegas, a lot of people just haven't gone. There's always next year though, right? So, what have we got coming up for you in this very special episode? The major theme of this year's CES 2022 has been EVs. And that's just as well, because the first episode is neatly titled FutureEV. EVs, or electric vehicles, have been the biggest story of CES 2022. This is the Sony Vision concept car. Yes, you heard that right. The music, movie and electronics empire is getting into electric cars. And not to be outdone by Sony, Mercedes launched its very vision of the future of electric cars, with a little help from one of the world's biggest movie directors, James Cameron.
Well, I don't think it's obvious when you first hear about it, and it even wasn't obvious to me. And tonight is all about the future. You know, when I look at this vehicle here, you know, I see the future.
So those are the EV concepts. What about the here and now? And what is life really like behind the wheel of a regular electric car that you can buy even on the used market for a reasonable price? To answer that, I joined one of the youngest EV drivers in England for a road trip.
Hi there, I'm Harrison Hughes. I'm currently in Brighton and Hove, and I'm going to take you for a drive in my 2016 Renault Zoe. So I passed my test in October, so about 6 months, 7 months now. I learnt in an electric vehicle. It was an MG ZS EV. I've always had a passion for them, so I decided to buy my own. It was a 2015 Renault Zoe. I bought it used for £4,800, and I fell in love with the electric vehicle life. My parents test drove that vehicle. They loved it, so they decided to go electric themselves. They now drive a Nissan Leaf and an MG, and I've recently just upgraded to this 40 kilowatt 2016 Renault Zoe. It's got a bigger battery and it's just brilliant all round. I've done some long journeys in it as well now.
And you know, in terms of when you first made that decision to learn to drive in an electric car and then to get an electric car, was it always about trying to do your bit?
I think it's my passion for technology. I've always had a massive passion for technology, whether it be home automation or electric vehicles. I remember when the i3 was first released, I don't know how many years ago now. That was the first car that ever got me really passionate about these electric vehicles. The environment is a huge extra that you just don't really think about. Well, personally, I didn't think about it when I first bought the electric car. And once you start to drive, you realise that once you're like, now I'm sitting in traffic, all these cars pumping out fumes, and I'm just here with nothing. It's like my parents, they bought their electric cars for their money saving. They lease their cars, and their lease costs are pretty much the same as their petrol costs, so it's just a no-brainer really to get one of these cars. And then there's the other half of people who they buy them solely for the environment. And my parents have never been huge eco warriors, but now they've got the cars. It is like I said, it's just a great feeling to be sat in traffic and there's no pollution coming out the back of your car. You're driving along and you know you're driving on clean energy.
And it's that feel-good factor that makes it the worthwhile investment.
Exactly that. I mean, there's just so many benefits to it: the environment, the fuel cost, and it's just a much nicer drive.
So Brighton, if you don't live here, you're most likely going to be coming here to visit one of the many tourist attractions, just like a lot of people here seem to be today. If they're coming in an electric car, what do they need to know?
First of all, I would say check ZapMap to look at the charging infrastructure around here. It looks really, really great, and there's like 200, 300 lamppost chargers around the city, which are really useful, but mainly for residents as they're only 3 kilowatts. So to charge this car at 3 kilowatts, it's going to probably take around 24 hours from a full charge, which is crazy long, which is completely pointless for visitors. But in the next few weeks, the Brighton Council are announcing a few rapid charging hubs around the city, which could charge this car, like I said, around an hour and a half, but most cars in around 20 to 30 minutes. The council are bringing in 50 kilowatt rapid charging, but really now we want these 150 kilowatts for the new cars, the Mercedes, the Jags, the Teslas that can take that huge charging rate. So it's just going to completely half your time again. This is going to make the transition to electric super appealing. So I'm going to plug in there and get some bits out the shop, and then I'll come out with a few more miles in my battery, all for free. So here we are. So this is your trip report, so you can see your miles per kilowatt average speed, how much energy you've used and how much energy you've saved. So I've just reset my trip report, so it's got 000. So I'm going to see what my mile per kilowatt is on the way back to Hove from Brighton Marina. So I'm guessing it's going to be around 4.6. Okay, so we're now on the way back to Hove from Brighton Marina. I've got my bits from the shops. I've got a bit of charge in the battery for free. Why not? I'm going to see what my average score is on the way home for my miles per kilowatt. I'm guessing it's going to be around 4.6, 4.7. I have got the air conditioning on now as it's getting quite warm. So let's get that up and let's see what we get. So prices range from about 15p to 69p depending on the charger you're using. As I was saying, lots of different chargers have lots of different prices depending on the speed. But it's great to see that the government are stepping in and starting to look at the different prices and making EV charging and the cost of charging very easy to use and similar along all the different charging networks. The main concern for most people when I speak to them about electric vehicles is the charging network and charging when you're out on the road. If I just bought this vehicle now and I wanted to go on a 200-mile journey, I'd be stressed out about it because I don't know what charging cards I need, I don't know what app I need. So something does need to be done, and it is starting to get there where the networks are all kind of very similar to use. They all require contactless payment instead of an app or an RFID card, and they're all similar prices. And I think once we get to that point, EVs are going to be even more appealing.
That was Harrison Hughes, and since that was filmed, he's turned 18. Okay, now for the part of the show where I'll be taking a look at the tech that's been making the headlines. No surprise, this one's all about CES 2022. But enough about electric cars for now. First up, Sony unveiled its prototype Quantum Dot OLED TV. That means a super bright picture and even more vivid colours. Brighter than you've ever seen before, apparently. I can't verify that as I wasn't there, but I'm sure it's amazing. Next, it's the ever-raging battle of the microchips, with Intel having announced its 12th generation Alder Lake chips, powering what they call the most powerful laptops ever. How? Boffins claim an increased core count is responsible. To you and I, that means more power to run the latest games and edit 8K video, because 4K is so lost decade. Not to be outdone, Intel's rival AMD announced the Ryzen 6000 laptop chips, with double the graphics performance on the previous generation. Sounds like a winner, But can we actually buy one? Or is the infamous chip shortage going to keep this a dream for now? Well, that's all from this FutureTech special from CES 2022. I hope you enjoyed the first show. Please do subscribe to be in the know for the next episode dropping your way very soon. And if you have any requests or ideas on what we should be covering here on the FutureTech show, just let us know in the comments below or on our socials. See you next time. Bye for now.